gonna start today's show by talking about a woman who fucked so many dudes on Tinder. She slutted around for so long. She took so much cock and balls, so many cock and balls, that she literally ran out of Tinder matches. So a big thanks goes out to Bill P for this particular article submission. The link to the article is in the description if you guys want to check it out. But I'm going to go ahead and break this bad boy down right now. So let's get started. It says, quote, a woman claims to have swiped through so many men on Tinder, she was told there were no matches left. Andy Liu, 46, a wellness coach from Australia, even started pin dropping to other places and countries in her bid to find love. So it looks like she's fucked everybody in her city. Wherever she lives, whatever city she lives in Australia, she's fucked so many dudes off Tinder, she's having to pin in other cities. There's a picture of Andy Liu. She's 46 years old, like I said, and she's not terrible looking. You can see she has a decent body, but she's not, she looks like a witch in the face. And I think the reason why I say she looks like a witch is because she has a mole right below her lip, number one. Number two, she's got this wry smile. You can see that she has smashed into the wall. She's clearly an ugly duckling who sort of grew into this obviously nice body. Listen, a lot of guys have fucked her. A lot of guys swipe right on Tinder for this particular woman because she has an ample bosom. She has ample breasts. And by the way, when women fuck dudes on Tinder, and I've never been on online dating, but what a lot of dudes tell me, what a lot of dudes have told me down at the 21 convention, is that bitches on Tinder they absolutely hate condoms. They hate condoms. So this woman is probably riddled or has been riddled with STDs more than a few times. This is just how it is, guys. Let's continue. It says, Andy has been searching for the one both offline and on dating apps for the past 6 years and signed up for Tinder when it first launched. She initially had some success telling female, I ended up having a relationship with a guy I fell madly in love with until he had to go back to Sweden. Unfortunately, she had to break things off as she knew she could never live there full time. She continues, the other, quote, matches I just met, and we became amazing friends. So let's take this from the top. So she's been finding love, attempting to find love, searching for love offline, in other words, in her real life and on dating apps for the past 6 years. And the interesting thing is that she signed up for Tinder when it first launched. So she probably signed, I don't know when Tinder came out. I think it came out in 2009. I might be incorrect with that. But for 6 years, when a woman says she's been looking for love or dating around, guys, she's been fucking dudes by the truckload for 6 years. It is unbelievable. And I always stutter because the thoughts just come to my mind so rapidly. But it is absolutely beyond me how most men do not understand when they read between the lines when a woman tells you she's been dating around or looking for love for 5, 6, 7 years. Translation, she's been fucking around. I talked about this in my workshop. When a woman says, I haven't been in a relationship in 3 years, translation, I've been sport fucking dudes by the truckload for 3 years. This woman says she's been searching for the one, both offline and on dating apps for the past 6 years. She's been a Tinder slut since the inception of Tinder. The next paragraph, she said, she ended up having a relationship with a guy that she fell madly in love with until he had to go back to Sweden. Unfortunately, she had to break things up because she knew she could never live there full time. Well, listen, and what you guys got to understand is this. She can say that she fell madly in love, but clearly she was not. If she really was madly in love with this guy, it would have been no question in her mind to move to Sweden. I can't think of a reason that she couldn't move to Sweden with this guy if she didn't truly love him. This just goes to show that a lot of women say a lot of things. They say, I love you, but they don't really love you. Then some women like to say, well, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Guys, listen, love is an action. Okay? Love is not a feeling. Love is not unconditional. Women are incapable of unconditional love. They love two things unconditionally, their children and their pets. If she was so madly in love with this guy, then she would have moved to Sweden. Now, here's the thing. I agree that she had very strong feelings for him, and she may have loved him, but not enough to move to Sweden to be with him. Gladys Knight famously says in her song, "In a Midnight Train to Georgia," I'd rather live in his world than live without him in mine. I'm sure she loved the guy, but she obviously didn't love him enough. If a woman truly loves you, she will make that very clear. If a woman truly loves you, she will rearrange her life. She will move heaven and earth. She will acquiesce to your every whim. She will relocate for you. The fact that she wasn't ready, or that she couldn't, or she felt that she could never live there full time, that just says to me that she just didn't love the guy enough. And that's okay. Just don't go crying when you're 46 years old, you've run out of Tinder matches, and nobody wants to be with you because you fucked 751 guys. Then she continues, "The other matches I just met and we became amazing friends." Translation: I met up with other matches and I didn't fuck them, but I knew they wanted to fuck me, so I kept them around from all of my non-sexual needs. There are a lot of girls who go on a lot of Tinder dates, right? They meet a lot of guys on Tinder. They don't fuck every dude they see on Tinder. A lot of times the guy will show up and he's hot and he looks good and this and that and the other, but he didn't have any game. He's not self-assured. He's not self-confident. He makes her do all the planning. He doesn't take charge and plan the date. A lot of guys look like quote-unquote alpha males. A lot of guys look like they can fuck. A lot of guys look like they have their shit together, but just because you look good doesn't necessarily mean that you have your shit in order. Okay, listen, you look good. You have great style. You've got a nice body. All of those things matter, and all of those things absolutely count. But if you don't have the wherewithal, if you are unable to train your girlfriend to be the obedient, submissive woman she is meant to be with my 7-hour audio course, How to Build a Quality Woman from the Ground Up, the link is in the description, to handle a female, even in a first date scenario, then a lot of times this can and will turn women off. Now, if a woman is a big enough slut, she'll fuck you regardless. She'll say, okay, listen, I don't really like the way this guy looks at me, doesn't really have any game, he's kind of self-confident, he is absolutely a beta male, but he's got abs, so I want to fuck him. Some girls will fuck a Tinder date no matter what, but not all girls fuck all Tinder dates. But the ones they end up not fucking, those are the ones they put in the friend zone. And the guys that go out with these women and get put in the friend zone, they don't know they're in the friend zone, right? Like, I get emails all the time. "Donovan, I met this girl on Tinder. I really like her. She really likes me. We've been out on a couple of dates, and I want to go out with her on a third date. I haven't fucked her yet. What should I do?" Well, I find out that he took her to a restaurant on the first date and a restaurant on the second date. So his first problem was that he rewarded a woman for just showing up. Guys, I always say this, never feed her before you fuck her. That's how that goes. When it comes to Tinder sluts, if you meet a female on Tinder, do not feed her before you fuck her. If you feed her before you fuck her, you will not fuck her. When you take a woman out to a date, when you take a woman out to eat, to a sit-down restaurant, you are giving her your time, your attention, and most importantly, your resources for no other reason but that she's a female. Knowing that that's all that it takes to get you to part with some of your resources in the way of a meal, she feels like, oh, you know what? If I'm going to get more of these resources, or I know this guy wants to fuck me and I don't really want to fuck him, but if all I have to do is show up and get fed, then yeah, why not become good, amazing friends? Never feed Tinder sluts before you fuck them, guys. If you feed her before you fuck her, you will never, ever fuck her. That's all there is to it. Let's move along. It continues. Andy's experiences have led her to write a book entitled #InstaLovers, which is about digital dating and DM disasters. During a recent press tour in the U.S., the mum of one decided to revisit apps because, quote, there was nobody left in Melbourne that she felt like she wanted to meet or date. She explains if you reach the end of the app message, if you reach the end of the app, a message will pop up saying there's no one new in your area, at which point you need to widen your area, and age range. Andy even ended up dating men in their 20s and 30s while in her early 40s because she found men of a similar age to her in Melbourne were already married. She's now giving up on Tinder and is currently on Bumble, Hinge, Raya, an app for celebrities. Holy shit. Plenty to unpack here. So let's take that first paragraph. She's writing a book about digital dating and DM disasters. I love it when women are so self-important. They think that they're so special and unique for taking multiple loads that they actually think we want to read about it. Who the fuck wants to read about unprotected sex that a post-wall 46-year-old slut writes about in a book? Who in the fuck is going to pay $9.99 for that? This is the law of supply and demand. You want to know how many 40-something sluts have written books about their adventures in digital dating and DM disasters? Get out of here. You know, and here's something else she'll do. She'll write 2 or 3 books, then all of a sudden she'll go and get an associate's degree and then call herself a sex therapist or a sex specialist. Or like that stupid-ass TED Talk bitch, a sexual anthropologist. Any female who describes herself as sexual blank, insert whatever, is absolutely a slut. Sex therapist, slut. Sexual anthropologist, slut. Sexual theologian, slut. Slut. Well, I'm a sexual writer, slut. Sexual enhancer, slut. Slut. I do not care. Anytime a woman says I am a sexual fill in the blank, she is a slut. Do my research, and I think it was Dr. Vrangelova who said, well, of the research I did and that of other scholars. Oh, bitch, please. There's nothing educational about you getting raw dogged in the ass by your 4th Tinder date this week. And dude, I'm sure as shit not trying to read that. I don't have to read that. I can go with 2X chromosomes and get that shit for free. I can go to Red Pill Women and get the same shit for free. I can go to Facebook, Instagram, get all those slutty stories for free. No, this bitch thinks that because she's so experienced and wonderful and a snowflake and a unicorn and, living my best life, that we actually want to pay for the dribble that she wants to put there. Fuck out of here with that. So, in the next paragraph, she talks about, now, the second paragraph tells us that she is a single mother, a single mom of 1. And she said she decided to revisit dating apps because there was no one left in Melbourne that she felt like she wanted to meet or date. Translation, I have fucked them all, and because I have fucked more than 500 guys, my standards are too high for me to settle for anyone else. Anytime a woman says that there's no guys out there for me, anytime a woman says, well, I'm not going to relax my standards, those are the musings of a woman who has been plowed into the triple digits by multiple men. This is just how this works. Take your game with women to the next level with my video course, How to Master the Game. Over 25 hours of game knowledge. The link is in the description. Guys, there's no other way to put it. The more cock a woman takes, incidentally enough, the pickier they get. And the way this works is actually quite simple. In a woman's mind, her ignorant hindbrain, she thinks that the more guys give her the cock, the more guys want relationships with her. Well, if she thinks all of these guys that give her cock also want relationships, she believes that every man who shows her sexual attention must also want a relationship with her. So she'll say, all right, well, I've got these 58 other guys who want to fuck, but I'm going to hold out for the one. I'm going to make sure that I do what's necessary I'm going to uphold my standards. I'm never going to settle. When a woman says she's not going to settle, translation, I'm not going to settle down. Never settle in womanese means never settle down. Never forget that. Then it says that she started dating men in their 20s and 30s while in her early 40s because she found men of a similar age to her in Melbourne were already married. That may or may not be true, but I will tell you this. 50-year-old men, 40-year-old men, men in their prime, men in their sexual primes are not trying to date a fucking 46-year-old slut who's a single mom. That's what that paragraph should have said. Right? She ended up dating men in their 20s and 30s. And oh, by the way, let's not sugarcoat this. She's not dating men in their 20s and 30s. She's fucking these guys. So let's read this in red pillese. Andy even ended up fucking men in their 20s and 30s while in her early 40s because she found that men of a similar age don't want to wife up a single mother slut who's 4 years from being a half a century old. That's what that means. And then, of course, having had all the cock in the world, thinking that she can actually get any man she wants, now she's on an app for celebrities. This bitch is about to write a slut book and has fucked so many guys and thinks so highly of herself that she actually thinks that she will be able to date, marry, and fuck celebrities? Are you serious? Guys, listen, you cannot make this stuff up. This woman is 46 years old. Who the fuck she thinks she's going to date? Leonardo DiCaprio? Dude, his cock stays in 19, 20, 21-year-old bitches. Again, ain't nobody trying to marry or date a woman who's almost a half 100. Listen, I'm sure he'll give you some ass to mouth, right? I'm sure she's more than willing and available for that, but ain't nobody trying to commit to this hoe. The fuck out of here. Let's move on. Andy says she's focusing on apps that are, quote, geared towards showcasing herself to attract more meaningful connections. Translation, she's looking for the one. Anytime a woman says I'm looking for a meaningful connection, she's looking for a guy who checks off all the boxes. Hot, 6 inch, hot, over 6 feet, 6 foot dick, 6 cars, 6 different countries. Let's continue. It says, and while she's not actively pursuing a relationship, she likes knowing that someone might be looking for, quote, something real and kind, and that things may develop naturally, quote, without expectation. So right here, this is just too delicious. I must have glossed over this when I was reading over this earlier. And while she's not actively pursuing a relationship, again, translation, she's fucking around. When a woman says I'm not actively pursuing a relationship, she is fucking around. Women don't become celibate. Women don't stop fucking. They're always fucking. Now, there are guys that they like fucking more than other guys, but a woman is never not fucking someone. So when she says she is not actively pursuing a relationship, this means she is fucking without any sort of commitment. Then, of course, it says she likes knowing that someone might be out there looking for something real and kind, and that things may develop naturally without expectation. You want to know what that means, guys?